Well, here is the $1.3 billion question. Since Muslims claim that the books the Jews and the Christians have are not Allah's original, unchanged, and uncorrupted books, then the question is, where is Allah's original, unchanged, uncorrupted books? Where is the Torah, which Allah gave to Moses, and the Injil, which Allah gave to Jesus? If you can find these books of Allah, Muslims will each give you at least $1. Yes, $1. And you will have $1.3 billion if you can answer that question. That is, if you can collect from however many Shia Muslims there are. Because according to the Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims are not really Muslims, so good luck collecting from them. But with that said, both the Sunnis and the Shias would be forever indebted to you, because the Quran tells them in Surah 7, 157, and this is a translation from Pickthall, Allah says, "Those who follow the messenger, the prophet who can neither read nor write, whom they will find described in the Torah and the Gospels which are with them." But wait, Yusuf Ali's translation is even more interesting, and it reads, "Those who follow the messenger, the unlettered prophet, whom they find mentioned in their own scriptures in the law and the gospel." So we know who is the unlettered prophet who supposedly cannot read nor write, right? That is supposed to be Muhammad. Okay, we got that part. I'm sure we also know who are those who follow this so-called illiterate prophet. The Muslims, right? I think we're doing good so far. So now this surah is saying that the Muslims will find this illiterate prophet of Allah mentioned where? In their own scriptures, which is what? Which are the law and the gospel. So Allah is saying Muslims have the law, which we know to be the Torah, and the gospel, which they call the Injil. Muslims have this, their own scriptures. So the logical question to Muslims is, where are these books? Where is the Torah and the gospel, which Allah says you have with you? And in them you will, not you would have found or find then, you will find Muhammad mentioned. See, this is why Muslims today search the so-called corrupted Christian books looking for their elusive, illiterate prophet in those corrupted books, so-called corrupted books. But surely Allah's intentions was not to guide good people on a path that would lead them to corrupted books full of made-up lies, looking for his holy, true, good prophet. See, I would think that sending people to corruptions and lies would be beneath Allah to do. Even me, myself, I as a human would never send anyone to a place that gives false information, knowing that it contains false information. So unless Allah did not know it contained false information, or would have at some point contained false information, Allah expects his books to be uncorrupted, unchanged, untampered with. And it's obvious that Allah in that verse is speaking in the current tense, not the past tense or the back then tense. He was speaking in the current tense, which means for all times, no matter what time, no matter when. You will find in those books the unlettered prophet. Now, to prove that Allah was indeed speaking in the current tense, here is yet another translation of the same verse by Mohsin Khan. And notice what Khan puts in parenthesis. Let's read Surah 7, 157, translated by Khan. "Those who follow the messenger, the prophet who can neither read nor write, i.e., example, Muhammad, whom they find written with them in the Torah. And look what he puts in the Torah. In parentheses, he put Deuteronomy 18:15, and in the Injil, in parentheses again, Gospel, John 19:16. So even Khan is doing exactly as Allah had instructed. To look into these books that Muslims are now claiming is corrupted. Is this Allah's intentions to guide good people on a path to corrupted books? This just goes against common sense and the nature of a God of truth. If he's a God of truth, he will not lead you to lies or corruption. To send people to lies looking for truth would be totally nonsense and against the nature of a God of truth. This is just self-evident. Only two scenarios can be possible. One, either the books that the Jews and the Christians have are indeed Allah's books, and if they are indeed Allah's books, then they cannot contain lies or corruptions or be changed, because Allah's books contain his words. It says that his words cannot be changed. The second scenario is that they are not Allah's books. The books that the Jews and the Christians have are not Allah's books because they contain lies and corruption, and they have been changed. So if they are not Allah's books, then the $1.3 billion question I posed in the beginning still stands and remains unanswered. In the end, I'll end the same way. Where are Allah's original, unchanged, uncorrupted, untampered with books? The Torah given to Moses and the Injil given to Jesus. And while we're searching, there is yet another book from Allah that's gone missing. Allah also gave the Psalms to David, and those are also missing as well. So good luck finding them. The only things that are left to mankind is what's actually in the hands of the Jews and the Christians. Now, if these are in fact fabrications and corruptions, we do need to find the original so that we can compare what the Jews and the Christians have today to what Allah originally intended and originally wrote. Without those, we can only go by what is here today. And it's incumbent upon Muslims who claim that they are corrupted and changed to produce the original. You see, for example, it would be like me driving my brand new BMW. Just bought it, I got it brand new, and I've been driving it now for the past, 10, 15 years. Then someone was to come to me 10, 15 years after me driving this and telling me, this is not a BMW. This is fake. This is a fraud. It was manufactured not by BMW, it's a fraud. How will they prove this to me? They would have to produce a real BMW, a real fine piece of machinery that handles and gives me all the luxury and the comforts of my current BMW or better. They'll have to show me the original so that I can accept his claim that the one I'm driving is a fake. And that's only for those of you who like BMWs. But you can substitute that with anything, any original thing. Someone will have to bring you the actual one in order to prove to you the one that you have is in fact a fabrication or has undergone changes. So with that said, once again, I ask all the Muslim brothers, for their own sake, if they are to do as Allah instructed them to do, they will have to find his original Torah, his original Psalms, his original Injil. Good luck, and may the true God bless and guide us all.